we go again. As I told you before, that we would get into this and we would take it to another level, week in and week out, with It's Time to Box. Today, what we're going to do is get into some serious insight and depict some of the typical conversation held around some of today's most known styles and how to build a foundation is where we're going to go. And we're going to take it all the way back, as far back as the 40s, when the greats truly designed these systems, and it allows us today to become masters. So, with no further ado, it's time to box. The origin of this style that we're focusing on today is basically the foundation of your stance and your defense. Some of you think when you see this move and posture that this is the peekaboo, but the origin dates back to this. Turtle shell was the beginning of the peekaboo style, taught and created by the great late Archie Moore, and it was forearm blocks. Later moved and perfected by George Foreman as a heavyweight. When Customato had Floyd Patterson, Jose Torres, and Mike Tyson, he was very, very solid in teaching the foundation and the fundamentals. When people began to see this, they depicted that that was the peekaboo style, but that's actually not the peekaboo style. The peekaboo is all about peeping between the forearms, looking and creating offense. What this is windshield wipers, and you learn it when you first come into the boxing gym. The thing about it is we're going to teach you degrees of that defense today. The first thing you want to do is realize that this is a second dimensional, which is biomechanically driven exercise, where you'll learn how to go left and then go right, placing the heels into the floor, setting your base, setting your balance. And when you start to go left to right, remember, this is like 3D. It's dimensional as a teaching. So when you teach this, you must understand the dimensions of it. Going left to right, you must create the second dimension. Tilt here, rotate, because now you're breaking down and tearing down the torso, the trunk, the pendulum swing, the hips, or your pendulum. So when you go here, bing, rotate, bing, rotate, bing, rotate, bing, rotate. And that is the second dimension of your basic skill slip, which is the windshield wipers. First thing you learn when it comes down to your slips in boxing. Oh man, I hope you guys are enjoying the first half of this show, but I'm telling you, the second half is lights out. You're gonna enjoy it. Get your notepads out. It's about to go down. All right, all right, all right. I know that that was getting some kind of good. It's something terrible when you got to stop that sweet science when you're being taught. But what we're here to do is make sure it's time to box. And we welcome all of you out there in the world of boxing, combat at large. I'm so pleased to be able to bring this informative stuff to you. So front and center, the Most High has given us the platform to share and give insight and some Q&As. And I hope that you had a good takeaway from that. For those of you who missed the beginning, you will be able to watch it again at the end of the show. We'll segue the show out with that segment. Now, most of you who are in the School of Boxing, special shouts out to my people in the School of Boxing before we get going. I see some of you are in the building. What's going on, Daryl? Las Vegas in the building. I love the fact that I didn't have to say, make sure you plant where you're from. The West Side, home of the fight game, and one of the best to ever do it. Money May. Neil, we have South Wales in the building. Stay safe out there, man. I know there's a new strain going on with that COVID-19. So stay safe, be blessed, continue to get your tests. We've done it. I'm good. So let's keep our hats on straight. Welcome to School of Boxing in the building. Coach Fleming, we always got Dan Mark in the building. School of Boxing, buddy. 2021, soaring above the game. Next, man, for those of you who are chiming in, make sure you let us know where you're from. And, I know that little nugget that you were getting, it's very informative. A lot of over periods of time, the peekaboo style and basics of boxing has gotten confused. And the more telling detail of the peekaboo versus basic boxing is the hand placement. So when you're looking at that, I broke it down. We are clearly here to clear out the craziness, and so there's no confusion about what is what. Earmuffs. That is earmuffs. This is windshield wipers. That video will give you much more clarity. And this was the beginning of the peekaboo, which was peeping through the arm guard. Archie Moore, the king. Men lie, women lie more, numbers don't. 141 of those knockouts. Nobody in history has ever knocked out that many men in the world in no sport. So that's what the real yummy of that skill set is about. And hats off to Custom Model for creating the other version of the peekaboo. So I hope that was informative. Now, the entire video, for those of you who are not clear and you've never been on this channel, my name is Eric A. Bradley, coach, that is. And before I keep it going, our people in the School of Boxing, we really have a great platform and a boxing course for those who know they need to take their skill set to the next level and they don't want to get confused and caught up in the dismay. But that platform is for them. For those of you who are looking to really change your game up in 2021, make sure you touch base with us. You see the guys on the feed. We got our boys in the building. They always live. What's going on, champ? Hawaii, TSOB. We all over the world. When you see that hashtag TSOB, brothers for life. Yeah, you subscribed last night, my man. Columbus, GA, in the building, home of Fort Benning. Now, hey, I love where you live. So just make sure you guys get the votes right today. It's going down. Special shouts out to you and thanks for joining in. Go out to the website and subscribe. We got some really crazy things going on for you guys in 2021. We always keep it on 10 whenever we give our people the swagger is what we'll call it, because we want you to separate and look different than everybody else in the game. Fort Knox, Rochester, New York. You in the School of Boxing? Make sure you get in the School of Boxing, buddy. New York's in the building. Represent Rochester to the fullest. All right. It's a lot of good quality people. Richmond, VA. I know you best get in the game. I know my boys from VA. We just left there a year or so ago, a little bit and then the same breath of that when our breath was taken away when Sweet Pea, we were up there when Sweet Pea got taken away from us, we were up there to spar and help out there in Norfolk. So Richmond in the building, man, shouts out to you. Thanks for joining the show. But as we're going to get back, we're going to take it back to the skill set where Archie Moore created this turtle shell, and it later continued on and got totally, once he stopped boxing, he was able to really teach. He taught Ali, Tommy Brooks, George Foreman, and the list just goes on and on. Those guys, the Georgie Bentons of the world, all of those are municipality of the system. And I'm just proud to be a part of it. And shouts out to my sister from another mother, J. Marie Moore, the daughter of Archie Moore, the old mongoose. We are absolutely bringing in 2021 with fire. Special shouts out to all of you chiming in. We got people from South Carolina. Just drove through South Carolina last week. And you guys know we really want to make sure you got the good boxing. And when you look at the skill set, and I might just run it in the mid show, we got to go into this year with the mindset that we got to do better. in the sport, because our focus is rebranding the sport. So I got some great questions. If any of you got questions on boxing techniques, we're doing a boxing technique Q&A. So some of you, let me see, I got another one out here. Shouts out from Texas. Thanks for the workouts and instruction. I haven't given you anything yet. We're just showing you kind of what is out there to do. So get in the course and you'll really see what it looks like for Monty. This week, the guys are being introduced to Power Junkie, the new training system that we have been extending for well over a decade now. That is an extension of our 12 Peaks training. And what this is a complexity of boxing, strength development, developing quick twitch muscle, enhancing of the slow twitch muscle so you can really increase your conditioning and your wherewithal. And it's absolutely crazy. And the title of it is Power Junkie, from under the 12 Peaks brand. And you know 12 Peaks has been going strong out in social media for at least 8 years strong. And nine, it's the 20, it's 2021 now. So jump on it. It'll be in a position for those of you who subscribe. Go out to masterboxingllc.com and subscribe to the website. We are opening up our platform to teach you, because what you're getting on the page is really good insight, but we're going to structure you a little better so you understand the pendulum swing between seeing content and understanding the process of how you learn it. And then from there, maybe you subscribe and then you get into the course, which is the School of Boxing, as you get comfortable. Our biggest thing this year is to make sure that we have the best customer experience. So all of you guys out here who are watching, feel free to take the next leap. You know, don't feel confused or complacent. We're going to take care of you. Even just the subscribers, you're going to have a platform just to learn and digest. And once you realize how much it really is to learn and what goes into learning, then we're sure that you'll probably take the leap to jump into the school. And you take your time. But what our focus is to in this year here is to make sure that the hard work we put in was to give you a place that you could really learn. And it made me want to tell you a quick 60-second story. I had help and we built an entire new Studio B and a Studio C. And it took tens of thousands of dollars to do. But what it gave me the insight to is when you're learning different, whether it's software, hardware, equipment, that you really need better instructions. So I said to myself, I've been at providing content for people to see inside of the real, the real lifestyle of fighters. But wow, I should have never allowed myself to get frustrated with people who did not understand, because they're searching the internet trying to become great. You can't be great. You got to be enrolled in somewhere. Don't, if it's not here, somewhere. But I was I was awakened that these different platforms and channels are just giving you stuff, but there's no processing. I got so confused and so frustrated trying to find channels that were absolutely clean and gave me what I needed, not what they wanted to give me. So I made a pact to make sure that even those who are subscribed to our website would have a place where they felt like they were home and that they were taken in and that they can ask questions and that they could get answers and that we could really solve a problem. So I hope you can appreciate that. And we're going above and beyond. And for those, once they get to that next level, which is getting into the course, you really learn that there's another level to learning. And that's when you'll get comfortable. So make sure if you don't do anything today, subscribe to the website. It's going to be the game changer and it'll give you more insight. So I hope that this was a good present coming into the new year. And for those of you who are watching in March of this year and in June, still, you're welcome to subscribe. We just want to make sure everybody's good. What's going on? Now back to the topics. I just want to make sure I don't have any shouts out from Tick. Yeah, and thanks for you saying that. Alex Fernandez, Grand Rapids, Michigan in the building, listening, watching, and learning. Hey, you out there with the Zell family. So hopefully you're conscious of Tony Zell, one of the greatest to ever do it, and one of the pioneers of the sport of boxing. So special shouts out to the Zell family out there in Michigan. My man, Damien, what's up? Texas is in the building. What's up with your Cowboys, Texas? That was a joke, man. Good. Charles the Professor. My 2021 goal is to win a title belt. Wheelchair boxing is a new sport. I'm with the organization to the WBC, the WWBC. Oh my gosh, that is so amazing, man. You will do it. Trust me. You have the right mindset, and the people over at the WBC, without a doubt, in the WWBC, the Mauricio Suleimans and Gio Diamond, Chastain, all of those people are absolutely second to none when it comes to class, and they run a class organization. That is one of the better entries to 2021 that I've heard already. But we got your support, and I hope our channel, our page, helps you in getting and reaching your goal. That's what our objective is, and we want to make sure that you reach out and connect with us, subscribe, and we want to make sure that you have a scholarship into the School of Boxing for 2021. Don't forget, go up there, make sure you subscribe, and let us know that this is Charles the Professor. Excuse me, I got hot tea in my mouth, but we got you covered, brother. I'm glad to see you out here, and we got you support 1,000%. Welcome to It's Time to Box. What jump punch? Uh, I don't know, man. You got to clarify that statement. Frankie, what's up? What's going on? New York watching, listening, and learning. It's good to see you in the building, brother. Welcome to It's Time to Box. I'm your host, Eric A. Bradley, coach, that is. And we love having you on board, introducing our members, and special shouts out to the new members of the School of Boxing. We have been looking forward to just chopping it up. And this year we're doing some great stuff. So hopefully you guys really take the time to subscribe and get informed. And for those out there in YouTube land, do the same thing. Be smart, be wise. We're going to show you another segment of that School of Boxing, that boxing foundation, that fundamentals. And this today, the topic was basics versus peekaboo. Some of you are so unversed and uneducated that you think the basics of boxing or the peekaboo, but we tried and gave you a video at the beginning that spoke specifically to the difference between the two. So if you guys would like to take another look at it, we will do just that. And after that, I'm going to really bevy into asking you, where are you at with your training this year? Because if you're not in a good place, make sure you subscribe so you can get into that challenge with the new innovation of all tiers of the mind, the physical ability, which is Power Junkie, and it is fire. You do not want to miss being a part of that. So whether you are female, whether you are male, whether you're young, whether you're old, the Power Junkie system, that challenge is so absolutely complete. It's an absolute savage beast. So if you don't do anything, make sure you're around to take part in that. And we're looking forward to getting it in. Basics is high guard, but there's many variations of high guard. Enrique, shouts out to Enrique for dropping that. There are many variations of high guard. You can posture here. You can posture here. There's a lot of different high guards, man. And as you start to learn more about boxing, you'll learn that there's so many layers. I put stuff out there sometimes that's kind of advanced, and people are like, hey, well, that's not how like, you don't understand the level. And there are many levels. And if you go back and watch the video that I did with Canelo, which was posted on Sunday, you'll understand, you'll get to see, and I go through the tiers, the layers of the levels of boxing. And you gotta have clarity. We are professors. We're not here to compare our skill. We already own the Bible of boxing, not a piece of the Bible, but the entire Bible of boxing. So that's what you're learning from whenever you jump into the school of boxing. I got over 20,000 videos out here. You know, no one can tell me about boxing anymore, but we want to make sure that you understand there's a lot of process in it. And there was over 3 decades myself physically put in it, 4 decades total when it comes down to all of the learning. So just think about that. Hundreds of thousands of freaking man hours put into it, and 3 generations deep. Advanced peekaboo is more advanced, comes with better reflexes. There are so many more layers to it than that. But yeah, of course it does. But do you know the basics profoundly? There's very few people on the planet that can teach it. Some people can do some of it, but there's so many chapters to it. And we have a total of, I know, 11 hours recorded video, clinics, and all of that on the Peekaboo. And together, it would take you a minimal of 4 years nonstop to take it all in. And that's if you train and did something different every single day. It would take you 4 years. So that gives you the magnitude of the different levels and the different layers to the Peekaboo. But if you execute the basics of boxing in the proper manner, it looks almost exactly like the Peekaboo in certain facets of it. So just want to put that out there. Fleming, join the school of boxing. He's trying to tell you, he's letting you know. You think you know boxing until you get into school and you realize you are just an infant in the sport, no matter if you fight or not. If you fight or not, they're total guys at the top level. We've had UFC guys join, we've had guys from the world champions, guys who are Hall of Famers realize I never knew that. They got away with a lot without knowing. So that will tell you how many layers and how we break it down. We break it down inch by inch, centimeter by centimeter, and round by round. Absolutely, Enrique. We that's all we're here for. We're not here to challenge people. We're here to enlighten you. And I want everyone to be impacted. And let us know, what are you doing training wise though? If you're not doing anything training wise, make sure you let us know in the comments or reach out to us at support at masterboxingllc.com. And what we're going to show you now is, after we get done, this is our Q&A time. I want to ask several of you, as we move into the next section of this show, have you tried intermittent fasting? But I have a question here I'm going to pull up on the screen. I see a young man, Charles Walton. I've tried other boxing systems in blocking. No system works other than the Peekaboo system. We wheelchair boxers throw from the hip and a lot more head movement than body boxing, than able body boxing. Yeah, because you're able to concentrate specifically on one area solely. So it's several things that you don't have to worry about at all, which is, you know, bending your knees and sitting down in your stance. Now that you're in a wheelchair, you're able to really concentrate on head movement. So you should be really good and tactical with your approach to boxing. And I'll give you a couple of pointers. Really learn great parrying techniques. It takes a lot of getting caught with shots when you're first learning the parrying, but parrying, if you watch guys like Evander Holyfield, he was very good at parrying. He didn't always just block punches. He parried, because off parries, you can counter punch. Very effective style. You can catch, you can block, you can parry, and parry allows you to give more counter punch opportunities for yourself. So I hope that gives you a nugget to use. Now, like I said before, you got to make sure your wrists are strong. So there are different techniques that you can use, like the rice bucket. Get a bucket full of rice and dig in there and get the wrist strong. So wow, you'll have that dexterity in the wrist, man. And when you're able to catch those shots and spin them, pap, 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 you can counter really good off three, 4 punch combinations. Try it out and let us know. Make sure you come back on the show next week or on the fight show Thursday when we have special guests. I'll tell you guys at the end of the show who the special guest will be this week. It's amazing. And we make sure we get the right people on the show. So Charles, I hope that helped. Let us know if you tried that out. And no matter what you do, make sure you subscribe. Next. Don't quite understand punches say guard. You gotta go to Google and make sure you spell check so I can read what you're putting up here, my man. I really want to read your comment. It's a powerful thing whenever I can, if you can get feedback from me up here. This is a show that I gave the audience so that they will have a place to really learn what their next steps should be and could be. And if you're aspiring fighter, make sure you let us know. We don't want you to go down the wrong road. And a lot of 90% of the guys who are aspiring fighters are going down the wrong road. So it's a great chance that you're in that lane. Don't do that. So the intermittent fasting question I was asking, because we're going to show you how to go about eating. And when you're in the system of training, not just getting exercise, because when you try the power junkie, you're going to need to be on some food and you're going to need supplementation for the ligaments and joints. So we're going to be here clearly to give you information on which stuff to sort out. Because we do the research, we connect with the owners of the company and make sure that they have a viable history, not just come out and be and brand new and telling people that they got this, they got that. We do the research. We have a powerful research team that's second to none. And I have been in the world of nutrition as a nutrition specialist for 20 years. Like, that covers why I'm able to discuss and talk nutrition. I was very interested in nutrition coming up because I had relatives that had, whether it was high blood pressure or diabetes, and I didn't want that. And then I was in the medical field, so I saw a lot of people ailing and athletes that I'm working with breaking down so constant, and it was wear and tear. I had to learn nutrition. I had to go to school. I had to pay my money and learn the ins and outs and the depths and the brevity of it. And that's what you have to do with everything. You have to spend your money and you have to learn more, because YouTube can only give you so much. And then when I got into the course, I realized how much there was to know. And now I was able to pass that forward and pay it up to you. All right, let me check out a couple of more comments, and then I'm going to show you this segment on intermittent fasting for those of you who've never tried it before. What's going on, Kara? From Canada. Canada's in the building. Canada has the healthcare system all locked down. Y'all are thorough up there, man. I'm mad shouts out. I gotta get a second or third home in Canada without a doubt. They got it. What's up, my man? Makovich. Let's see what this looks like when you have your food together. This is a segment done, and I felt that it was necessary. And this is our great introductory to intermittent fasting. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, and I'll catch up with you on that. Let's see what it looks like. Made it. I'm starving. Had to get fresh because I know we were going to go to another layer of how do you strengthen the body after working out. My focus is to keep everything lean, so when I'm demonstrating, I have such a large audience, and whenever you want to perform, you got to be intact all the way. So we're going to cover some of the things that you're going to need whenever you're focused on eating to strengthen the torso, the body, and how do you actually supposed to eat as a fighter. First thing you got to see is the menu. We intermittent fast over here, and the reason why that's so important, having the ability to process your food, allowing your body to cleanse and feed the cells is a basic principle of nutrition. When you're intermittent fasting, the key is going 16 hours, making sure you give the body plenty of time to cleanse itself, not digest the food, but cleanse the system. That's why people fast. A lot of people take it upon themselves to eat very healthy, but they do not take it upon themselves to cleanse the body, allow the body to cleanse itself. So therefore you start to get jam up, fat pockets and stuff. So I'm going to tell you how to get rid of that and prevent that from happening. Whenever your focus is to lean the body out for strength, you got to keep it very simple. First thing you got to have is your proteins. Here we have chicken, grilled, spinach. Our focus is to get more protein from our vegetables. The main reason there is any protein inside of meat products is because that animal fed off the land. So keep that in mind. Get your protein from your vegetables. The next thing you gotta do whenever you're fasting intermittently is increase the fat intake. Minimize carbohydrate intake. Here we have carbs and a little bit of coconut oil to satiate the body. I use that instead of butter. Now, the best thing about butter is it comes in a grass-fed manner. And if you can use that, that's the better form of it. No hormones. You do not need the body loaded with toxins when you're trying to lean out, all right? These key principles will get you to the promised land. Key reason why fats are important when you're intermittent fasting is that's your energy source. Whenever you have to feed that body energy from all of the training, you gotta go straight to the fat. Why? Because carbohydrates increase the level of and creates insulin in the body. And you do not want the body to go through all of those different tiers in order to digest food. So you minimize that, you won't have that spike in insulin, and you get the fat and the energy, and you'll start to see your body lean out extremely well. Good. And like I said, when it comes down to fats, I'm all about the nuts, coconut oil, and MCTs. The MCT is great for the brain stimulation, feeds it that fat it needs, and when you're starting to have that foggy, cloudy thought process going on, start taking that teaspoon a day. You'll start to feel a lot of the impact whenever you start to isolate your brain and take care of it. Brain health is uber important. All right, now see, one of the techniques that I use myself, I'm a portion guy. I can easily get carried away with eating too much if I do not portion things out. So what I'll do is I'll cut half of this potato, place it in the Tupperware, lock her down. I'll eat all of the greens because remember what I said. I want to get all of the greens and use that as my protein source. And here I will take half of the chicken, which is, this is 3 strips, tenderloin. I'll cut, take half, and in the next hour and a half to 2 hours, that will be my next meal, giving the body time to digest part of it, then move on to the next. Portion control is king when you're trying to lean out the body. Now, I got a segue. This, for those of you who just tuned in, and you did not see the beginning of this, we went through some boxing techniques and the principle and foundation of boxing. From there, we went into exercise training. As you can see on the overlay, there are just several things that need to thread themselves together. I did not want to continue to put anything out here without it being enough to solve a problem that you had. Now, you had the exercise, you had the boxing skill, and you have the meal setup. Nuts are another go-to. Here we have pecans and almonds. You don't go crazy with these things though. Your objective is to eat 10. You need fat, but when you start to jam your body up, start to pop out pimples and stuff, you don't want that. Skin gets very oily, and you do not want to do that. That is kind of like counterproductive. Biggest thing is to make sure you prevent the body from adding and gaining fatness. And if you eat too much of that, the body just, it doesn't know what to do, so it starts to store it. And the next thing you have is fat pockets. So think about that. Remember, the key reason why we intermittent fast, which is going, let's say you stop eating at 8 o'clock p.m. Well, you eat again at 12. If you stop eating at 7 p.m., you eat at 11 a.m. So it's uber important that you find a way to satiate your body. Get up in the morning, make you a bulletproof coffee, energize the brain. In bulletproof, you will have the MCT oils, you'll have grass-fed butter. These things replace all of the junk. So the principles of intermittent fasting, leaning out the body, and maximizing your return is key for energy. But one thing I want to know, what type nutrition plan have you tried and how effective was it? The key into what we're trying to do is to make sure you have the complete remedy and you're not being counterproductive. Key thing about intermittent fasting, when you do get up in the morning and you just need something in your body, you can always take the berries, anything that aids you in digestion, and you can consume that. Afterwards, I do my famous lemon and water. 10 berries, strawberry, blackberry. Blackberry's great for scraping the inside and exfoliating the gut. And then a few strawberries. That's the perfect recipe when you get up in the morning. And follow it with the lemon water, lime water. It is all good. That's the beauty of intermittent fasting. About 10 years ago, we began being very visible in the virtual world. What we found out is people will always segue to a nice plan, nice workouts, but we consistently seen this one missing component. In a month or two after going strong, you start to fade out because we realize there was a lack of accountability. You need a place of destination. That's why this is such a complete experience for you. So we hope you take the time and join our team, making this a part of your day-to-day and having a place to be accountable. It's all in where you're trying to get to. Surround yourself with like-minded people and you'll soon see that that's the recipe to make it to the pinnacle and the highest levels. I hope you took time to write down some notes. Continue to follow us, and if you're out here and this helped you, subscribe, because it's only more like this coming to you. Until next time, continue blessings at God's speed. My name is Eric A. Bradley. I thank you guys for taking the time out to tune in to It's Time to Box, a place where you can get it all in one cycle. So long. Peace. All right. All right. All right. I hope that was very informative for you. We felt that just throwing out a meal plan or something that you wouldn't really benefit you and take you where you needed to go. So hopefully that there was a good takeaway about intermittent fasting for you. And in a couple of minutes, we're going to get back to the topic, which was the basics of boxing. I have a couple of questions that I saw on the screen. Charles Wilton, my former trainer, is Lennox Lewis's cousin, Richard Lewis. I've been boxing now for 7 years, 4 years under Coach Lewis. It's always good to be in a circle, and that circle has a lineage. Of course, Lennox Lewis was a gold medal Olympian, beating Riddick Bowe in the Olympics in '88. Oh, was it '84? And yeah, '84. When he came into the professional ranks, he went up under Manuel Stewart, and he has the lineage that cuts out decades of figuring things out. So being in that lineage from you is uber important, and that you stay where you are, because you just don't find depth when it comes down to the history. And you're talking about someone whose grassroots stem back to the Thomas Hearns of the game, all the way back to the 70s and 80s. So that's a powerful thing, man. I appreciate that, letting us know that you are there. We can help you at all in the School of Boxing. If you feel like you're still a little bit scattered, just let us know, man. There's no pressure. You have a great trainer that you're under that has the answers. Just make sure you got all the other components, and listen to him. Sometimes it doesn't seem like he's on track, but when people come from a deeper lineage, they just know so much more, and it's advantageous that you listen and be a great student, and that gets you at least to the title shot. It's up to you to win it, and as a team, you come together and make it come to fruition. But I just want you to listen to me, listen to him. All right. And if we can do anything to aid you in getting there, just let us know. We got you covered. Thanks again, Charles Wilton. Much success, and glad to have you on the page. Good stuff, man. Everyone, we thought that segment for, and make sure when you're training that you're eating right. And intermittent fasting for athletes is king, because your body needs the time to process, and it needs time to digest is one thing. Cleanse is another thing. That's a fermenting stage where your body has to actually exalt all of that toxin, and the toxicities will be the thing that break you down in the joints and your health. And for that, we have a great juice for you. So take the time. And when we give you something up here, it's free. So here's the juice. This juice is immunity juice to help cleanse and get your body up to its optimal level, because right now you're fighting different viruses, and you do not want to play around with that, first and foremost. Second, if you're conditioning as a fighter, you do not want to play around with your body recuperating. So you need better recuperative powers. When we design these drinks, and yes, I am a how to author, so I write all the time. And when we do it, the research is put behind it, the experts surround it. And when we come up with a product, it's formidable. So, all of the ingredients that's necessary to replenish your body, increase your immunity, create that dexterity, and give you energy are all in each one of those drinks. Each day is a different looking day, each day has a different uh, I love the fact that every day has a different color. So, Monday, just say, for instance, Monday is your immunity day. Everybody comes into the gym on Monday or whenever you train. So that's the day your immunity has to be at its highest, because people are bringing all kinds of, funkadory with them. And you got to just be smart. So this drink cleanse right here, we put together. Click the link in the comment box. It is second to none. One of the better ideas to come up with it, and to make sure that you had a respite, a place that you could get things that you need as an elite level athlete. Because you can believe that Chris Algieri's and the Daniel Jacobs and the Canelo Alvarez's, this is what they're doing. The people who are surrounded by the right kind of people, Ryan Garcia, these guys are drinking and eating like this. So go up there, take advantage of that. It's on the website. And if it should, when we put something on the screen like this, what happens is the comment goes with the link into the website. So I got to make sure that it's actually up there so you will not miss it. And I'll just put it there myself and copy it so you can I for me, I love this kind of stuff, especially when I take the time to write it myself. So I'm gonna copy it and put it down here in the comment boxes if it's not already down there. So there you go. That's the cleanse. Now allow your nosiness to go down there and track it. Click onto the link, press the link. I know you are enjoying the show, but do something for your body tomorrow. Right now, I got some amazing cat's claw. All of this stuff is to relax me and to not, no caffeine, honey, lime juice, and cat's claw and hawthorn berry. These things relax you and edify what you're doing. So if you're working hard, you got to get something to relax you so you can settle your mind. And this juice right here is great for that and for elite level athletes, for those who are always looking for the stuff that the real champion level guys are doing. This is what they're doing. The Keith Thurmans, you can believe he has a an entire recipe system when it comes down to recovering and replenishing the body. Your joints, you don't want to have that swelling. So you got to have things that reduce the anti-inflammatory, usually are green or yellow. If you do, you'll find yourself not experiencing the maximum impact of that type of training and that residual effect. And we don't want you to have that residual effect when it comes down to your training, because you work hard and you don't work hard to have to sit on the sideline on fight night or after training camp. So just keep that in mind. Go down there, check that out. Don't play around. If you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook, make sure you take advantage of that. Go up to that page, check it out, and get started with your nutrition. Because without that, nothing else going to work anyway. I don't care how hard you train, and it's going to bite you in the butt. We've seen it happen. I've been in the corner with guys who just did not do the other stuff, and they were not my direct fighters. I was aiding, but I know what comes when you don't have the nutrition intact. So our guys in the School of Boxing will definitely get the bird's eye view of education. Let me see. From Australia, good to be in the session. Thanks, Coach. Absolutely, man. Welcome, Mr. Boz. Welcome to the States. From Aussie. Aussies has a strong following. Now, the next thing that we're getting into, that detox is free. So get up on it. It'll be on that same page. So you get the detox and that. It's a powerful combination. Absolutely powerful. I got a question. What type workouts are you doing? Are you doing more calisthenics? Are you doing more cardio training, endurance, high impact? If you're doing strength training to the max with barbell training, because you got to learn about that. You'll also be versed to take it under consideration that there has to be a balance. And so that's why it's going to be so fun to do Power Junkie. It's going to have the clarity tied to it. So make sure you subscribe to the website. That's all you got to do is subscribe, and you'll have the first decision you make this year in 2021 will be one of the best. The first week you made the best decision you could have all year, because we have no choice but to keep it moving with you and to keep it moving for you and to keep it moving for us in the history of the sport. Very good. Now, make sure you do that. And I want you guys to stay tuned, because we're going to chime in next. The fight show will be kicking off on Thursday, first one of 2021. And we always have the great people to really change the game. So we're going to share the stage with the owner of American Top Team and founder, the man, Conan Silviera will be live, and it is advantageous that you take a chance and take the opportunity to watch. Those guys are going back over to Abu Dhabi and the Fight Island. Dustin Poirier going up against Conor McGregor. So being able to be over in the beautiful setting like that, which you see all the championship titles, that was just a fraction of them. They got belts all over. So what happens when you have an entire team? We're down in Coconut Creek, and when you're down there, what you'll see is there's so many components to becoming world champion that you don't see, because all you guys see and the only thing and people that the reporters are looking to put on the screen are the people with the big giant followings. They don't want to highlight the people like that are really behind the scenes doing the real stuff. So that's why you are delusional when it comes to knowing what's necessary for you to do to become a world champion. But this is an institute. I cannot wait to have this show. You will be enthralled with the amount of preparation and detail and depth that goes into building fighters. And that's why there's a process in order to get into a place like this. That's where Amanda Nunez trains. All of the top fighters that are in the sport, in the UFC game, are there. So it's without further ado, man. It's going to be a very, very insightful interview. So check it out. Be sure to tune in. For those out there in YouTube land, subscribe if you like to learn boxing. Click the like. And for those on the page, make sure you tag your buddies. Let them see the show. And until next time, I'll see you. Continue blessings. Welcome into the new year. Nothing but powerful phrases to come into you. Continued blessings. Special shouts out to my co-host and the Otis Griffins of the world, the Haley Zells. And for those who've been on the show, we appreciate you. Special shout out to the School of Boxing. Until next time, be blessed at God's speed. I'll see you soon in the winner's circle. Oh, and I got to play the video once again as I sign out. You guys who didn't get the opportunity to see this, now you do. Check her out. Again, as I told you before, that we would get into this and we would take it to another level, week in and week out, with It's Time to Box. Today, what we're going to do is get into some serious insight and depict some of the typical conversation held around some of today's most known styles, and how to build a foundation is where we're going to go. And we're going to take it all the way back, as far back as the 40s, when the greats truly designed these systems, and it allows us today to become masters. So, with no further ado, it's time to box. The origin of this style that we're focusing on today is basically the foundation of your stance and your defense. Some of you think when you see this move and posture that this is the peekaboo, but the origin dates back to this. Turtle shell was the beginning of the peekaboo style, taught and created by the great late Archie Moore, and it was forearm blocks. Later moved and perfected by George Foreman as a heavyweight. When Cus D'Amato had Floyd Patterson, Jose Torres, and Mike Tyson, he was very, very solid in teaching the foundation and the fundamentals. When people began to see this, they depicted that that was the peekaboo style, but that's actually not the peekaboo style. The peekaboo is all about peeping between the forearms, looking and creating offense. What this is windshield wipers, and you learn it when you first come into the boxing gym. The thing about it is we're going to teach you degrees of that defense today. The first thing you want to do is realize that this is a second dimensional, which is biomechanically driven exercise where you will learn how to go left and then go right, placing the heels into the floor, setting your base, setting your balance. And when you start to go left to right, remember, this is like 3D. It's dimensional as a teaching. So when you teach this, you must understand the dimensions of it. Going left to right, you must create the second dimension. Tilt here, rotate, because now you're breaking down and tearing down the torso, the trunk, the pendulum swing, the hips, or your pendulum. So when you go here, bing, rotate, bing, rotate, bing, rotate, bing, rotate. And that is the second dimension of your basic skill slip, which is the windshield wipers. First thing you learn when it comes down to your slips in boxing.
5 things to notice during the weigh-in. 4, body language, weak movements, can hardly lift their arms up. You don't see them making abrupt movements. They don't have the same energy, vibration. They really don't even want to look anyone in the eyes. That's a bad sign. Guys try to disguise it, but it's so hard when you don't have anything left. You might feel great the first 4 rounds. After 4 rounds, you try to get second wins, but there's the bevy of things that have to come together. Staying away from alcohol as much as possible. Keep the body cleansed. Keep inflammation out of the body. Hopkins did, and that's why he was able to stand the test of time. Keep it locked over here, masterboxingllc.com. Also, go over here and check out our reels. We got some serious skills over here for you. Check them out, and I'll see you guys soon in the winning circle. Peace.